When the boy was born, he was blind. At the age of 6, something happened that he couldn't explain. One afternoon, while playing with other children, another boy threw a ball toward him. Suddenly remembering, the boy shouted, "Watch out! The ball is coming!" The ball hit him, and from that moment, his life was never the same. He wasn't hurt, but he was deeply puzzled. He asked his mother, "How did he know something was going to happen to me before I could sense it myself?" His mother sighed. The moment she had feared had arrived, the time to tell her son the truth. "You are blind." Gently, she took his hand and began to count each finger, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. "These fingers are like your 5 senses. This little one is hearing. This lovely one is touch. This tiny one is smell. And this small one is taste. And this last little finger is sight." Each sense, like each finger, carries messages to your brain. Then she folded the finger she had named sight into his palm and said, "My dear, you are different from other children. You only have 4 senses, like having just 4 fingers, 1 hearing, 2 touch, 3 smell, 4 taste. You cannot use a sense of sight. Now I want to show you something." "Stand up." He stood. His mother picked up the ball and said, "Now, hold out your hand as if to catch the ball." He opened his palm, and in that moment, he felt the hard ball touch his fingers. He gripped it tightly and raised it high. "Wonderful! Wonderful!" his mother exclaimed. "I want you to never forget what you just did. You can still raise a ball with 4 fingers instead of 5. You can still live a full and happy life with 4 senses instead of 5 if you step into life with constant effort." The boy never forgot the image of 4 fingers instead of 5. To him, it became a symbol of hope. Whenever he felt discouraged by his disability, he remembered that symbol to lift himself up. He understood that his mother was right. He could still build and hold a complete life with the 4 senses he had. It was the beginning of a new life for the boy. But not everything would be easy. He had to learn to move around without being able to see where he was going. But slowly, with his mother's help, he learned to do it. She held his hand, guiding him, and he walked beside her, trusting her. But the truth is that after that day, his life changed completely. His mom was always by his side, helping him and supporting him. As the years went by, he grew up with a deep personality and a strong will. He studied, made friends, and faced life with courage. He realized that although there were some things he couldn't do because he couldn't see, there were many others that he could do perfectly well. His mom was very proud of him. Seeing her son grow up with so much strength and dignity filled her with joy and gratitude. As time passed, the boy grew older and got a job. He had his own responsibilities now and could make decisions about his life. However, sometimes when he thought about how different his life was from that of other people, sadness would creep into his heart. He still remembered how much he struggled to accept the fact that he couldn't see. Sometimes it seemed impossible to move forward. Even though he had a great support system, he often wondered how wonderful it would be to experience the world with sight. There were times when the world was too dark for him and the pain of feeling alone almost consumed him. In those moments, he missed his mom, who was always there for him. But she wasn't there anymore. She had gone to be with the angels. He missed her every day. It was difficult for him to carry on, but he knew that giving up wasn't an option. So he gathered all his strength and moved forward, trying to be brave and strong. Many years went by and the young man became an adult. Despite the challenges he faced, he managed to lead a fulfilling life. He even found love and started a family. Life gave him new reasons to keep moving forward. Years later, he became a respected member of the community. People admired his strengths and determination. They saw in him an example of how to face life's challenges with dignity and optimism. However, he never forgot the importance of helping others. He knew that many people go through difficult times in their lives and need support and encouragement. That's why he dedicated part of his life to helping those who are going through tough times. He became a guide for the blind, teaching them how to live a normal life despite their condition. He also worked tirelessly to raise awareness about the importance of helping people with disabilities. He wanted to live surrounded by nature, so he decided to move to a beautiful house near a park. The house was cozy and had everything he needed to live comfortably. But what made it special was its garden, which was full of flowers, plants and trees that made it a peaceful place. He loved to sit in his rocking chair and listen to the birds singing or the wind blowing through the leaves. It was a perfect place to relax and enjoy the simple pleasures in life. One day, as he was walking in the park near his house, he heard some children laughing. He stopped to listen and realized they were playing a game. They were throwing a ball and taking turns trying to hit it. He approached them and asked if he could join them. The children were delighted to have a new playmate and immediately invited him to play. They explained the rules of the game and gave him a ball. He closed his eyes, listened carefully and tried to locate the ball with his ears. When it got closer, he stretched out his hand and tried to catch it. The first few times he missed, but soon he started catching it more often. The children were impressed by his skill and cheered him on. He felt happy and at ease playing with the children. It reminded him of when he was young and life was full of joy and wonder. After playing for a while, the children had to go home because their parents were waiting for them. Before they left, they thanked him for playing with them and promised to come back the next day. He watched them go and couldn't help but smile. It was nice to see the innocence and happiness in their eyes. He realized that no matter what difficulties life may bring, it is important to keep a childlike wonder and not lose the ability to enjoy the simple things in life. This encounter with the children gave him new energy and enthusiasm for life. He returned home feeling rejuvenated and eager to start a new project in his garden. From that day on, he started spending more time in his garden. He planted new flowers, trimmed the hedges, and built a small pond for the birds to bathe in. His garden became a sanctuary for him, a place where he could relax and connect with nature. People from the neighborhood would walk by and admire the beauty of his garden. Some even stopped to ask for advice or simply to enjoy the tranquility of the place. He was happy to share his knowledge and passion for gardening with others. He believed that gardening was not just a hobby, it was a way to connect with nature and find inner peace. As the years went by, his garden became one of the most beautiful in the neighborhood. It was a true reflection of his inner beauty, a kind and generous soul who found joy in the simple things in life. In his old age, he remained active and engaged in his community. He continued to help the blind and support various charities. He also continued to take care of his garden, which remained his favorite place to relax and reflect on his life. Looking back on his journey, he couldn't help but feel grateful for everything he had experienced. He had faced many challenges, but he had overcome them with dignity and courage. He had learned that life is full of surprises and that we must be prepared to face any situation that comes our way. However, he also learned that no matter how difficult the situation, it's important to keep moving forward and never give up. Despite the many obstacles he had faced in his life, he had achieved his dreams and lived a full and happy life. He had a loving family, a career he liked, and a deep connection with his community. He knew that his story was an example for many people. His strengths and optimism had inspired others to face their challenges with a smile. As he entered his twilight years, he looked back on his life with pride. He had lived a good life, a life full of purpose and meaning. He knew that his story was far from over. He still had many stories to tell and many lessons to teach. He was ready to continue helping others and making the world a better place. With a heart full of gratitude and optimism, he looked forward to the future, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead.